How's it going, guys? Grimsie42 here, and I am back with part 4 of 5 of the epic, crazy, amazing, super weekend that I had at the Midwest Gaming Classic. Everything up until now is stuff that I picked up on the way, but now we're finally at the meat and potatoes, what I actually picked up at the convention. And I'm going to start by showing you guys some swag that I got. This first item here is a really cool item that I got from the Nintendo booth, and this is a Mario Kart 8 flag. I thought it was pretty neat. In hindsight, I would have probably liked two, since it's got two sides. I could have crossed them down in the basement, if you will, which is probably where my collection will be moving in the near future. But still pretty cool, and I was definitely happy to get it. This next item here is a cardboard stand of sorts, and it's for Smash Brothers and Amiibos. Kind of cool looking. It's kind of like round here, but I thought this was pretty cool. The Nintendo rep gave it to me, and I thought it was pretty sweet. Next, I'm going to show you guys something that I picked up when a good buddy of mine grabbed some stuff. I bundled it in with his. I'd already had one of these, but I did not have it complete in box, and I definitely did not have this complete in box version. This is a big box game, and they only made a very select few of these. Just what comes to mind is Earthbound, Mario Paint, and I believe this. If I'm not mistaken, as far as NTSC, those were the only games in a box of this size that they made. So if that hasn't tipped you off yet, it is the big box Super Game Boy. And this comes complete. It's got the actual Super Game Boy unit, and it also has the manual and paperwork, and then it comes with the 72-page player's guide that they advertised. So definitely cool. Definitely happy to add this bad boy to the collection. Okay, next I'm going to show you guys a really clean Sega Genesis game I picked up. Definitely a fun game. I believe I got this for $5, and it is Afterburner 2. And like I said, it is just in absolutely flawless shape. Definitely happy to knock this one off the list. This next one here does need a little bit of TLC and some cleaning. I have yet to clean some of these. I've been cleaning games like a madman since I got back, but this one here is a complete copy of a game that Metal Jesus had recommended, and something that I wanted to pick up regardless, but it looks really interesting, and it's Mr. Bones. And it's interesting because this is a 2-disc game, and look at how they dealt with being 2 discs. So it has its own little extra piece here. And something that I noticed, and I think it's maybe a Sega thing, I always thought it was weird and almost infuriating that people spelled disc, D-I-S-K, and on these it actually is spelled that way. So now I can't attribute it to lack of grammatical prowess. I can say that Sega has coerced some of you into spelling wrong. I personally spelled disc, D-I-S-C. I may be the one who's crazy the whole time, so actually let me know down below, guys. Do you spell disc, D-I-S-C, or D-I-S-K? Definitely very curious to know what the majority is. I definitely think it's D-I-S-C, but I may be mistaken. This next one here is a very clean game, and I picked this up for, I want to say $12 from my good buddy Brent, who actually had a booth there. You may remember Brent from previous Grimsie affiliated videos, as I actually sold him at the previous Midwest Gaming Classic my copy of Little Samson. So definitely a really cool guy. Unfortunately, we did not get enough time to hang out this weekend, just between my sleep schedule being all screwed up and me going to bed like a little girl at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, just because I was up from like 6 in the morning till, and conventions do wear me out. But anyways, definitely a really cool guy, and I was really grateful of the price on that. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. And this game is super clean. It's in really great shape, and it even comes with a little extra game player guide that has like all the moves and fatalities. So definitely cool. Definitely happy to add this one to the collection. Moving on, definitely some really quality PS2 titles here. But before I get to those, let me show you guys something that I definitely think I caught the vendor slipping on. At quick glance, it's just a small dual disc, disc-only GameCube game. But if you can see, it has a $1 price tag on it, and it is Def Jam Fight for New York. And if I'm not mistaken, this is like a $30–$40 game complete, and GameCube disc-only games hold a lot of value. I believe this was about probably like a $20 game, so I picked this up with the intent to flip, and $1 for 20 is definitely a great reducer of the huge debt I have put myself in by purchasing everything that I did. Not negative debt, just all my video game budget for like ever. But anyways, don't feel too bad for me, guys. I work a lot of overtime, and that's where a lot of this spending money came from. Unlike popular belief that I'm a trust fund baby, I actually had the hard knock life as a youngin', even though people don't believe me. I was not born in a silver spoon or silver spoon up my butt or something with a spoon. There was no silver. I guess in my case it would have been like rusty metal or something. Anyways, I digress. This next one I got here, it came actually recommended to me from a few people, and it looks very interesting, and it is a copy of the Red Star. And it's kind of a, I guess you'd compare this, to, I don't know, maybe Cannon Spike. It's got that look to it, just kind of like a slightly over-the-top shooter. Looks interesting, though. This next one I picked up because it was $2, and it looked pretty interesting. It's a side story from the typical Tekken series. It's called Death by Degrees, and it's by Nina Williams of Tekken. And it comes with the demo of Tekken 5, which I thought was pretty cool. So definitely worth it for a super clean game for $2. This next one was a little more than $2, but still a good price, and it is a very clean Atlas game. I definitely love to collect for them, as you've seen in the previous parts to this. And let's see if I can pronounce this correctly. Sugani Atonement. I believe I said that right, at least at the level of Gaijin proper. I'm sure that wasn't the actual pronunciation of it or anything, but definitely a really clean game, and I believe it was an early PS2 game. Yeah, 2001, because it's got the blue disc, which is actually flawless. So these definitely have a tough time playing sometimes, so to have a flawless disc will definitely help my cause. Alright guys, continuing on with the PS2 trend, 2 more games here. This first one here is missing one of the parts. I believe it's missing a poster. Yeah, this is missing a poster. So if you randomly have the poster for this and you don't want it, let me know and I'll definitely shoot you some money for it, because I definitely want to pick one up for less than all the money. And it is a complete, minus the poster, copy of Sakura Wars, and it is the big box version. And they actually had it at a lower price because it said manual not included. And if you look in the case, there is no manual, but because this is the big box, it actually came with a thicker, higher quality manual. So technically the manual was there. And I thought the joke was on them until I figured out that this had a poster. So I'm sure this is on some kid's wall, and he fantastically faps to it every night. Or at least at one point in his life he did. Maybe he's moved on to bigger and better things other than like anime, hentai, or whatever. But definitely really cool to get this one for the collection. I actually bundled it with something. I bundled it with the next thing I'm going to show you. I already have the Big Box Working Designs Growlancer Generations Deluxe, but I did not have this one, and this one was not published by Working Designs. Sadly, they had gone out of business at that time, but unfortunately. But this one here is definitely still a cool piece, while not at that level of cool. And it is Growlancer Heritage of War Limited Edition. And again, this is a big box, comes with all sorts of goodie and swag, which I'm not going to make a stumbling, bumbling fool of myself and attempt to open. I'll just tell you, it comes with, it looks like a keychain, some buttons, some cards, and an illustrated archive. So, and I guess it also comes with a DVD with some bonus content. So definitely really, really cool. And like I said, I bundled it with that other one and got them at a pretty good price. This next one here I picked up because it was super clean. Don't know if I paid too much for it. It was $8. I do not know my Master System prices that well, at least most games. But I thought that how clean this was and the condition it was in definitely warranted the price. And it is a copy of Space Harrier, and as you can see, it is just super, super clean. Cartridge, poster, manual, everything is in there, and in like literally new condition. So definitely was not in any way upset adding that to the Master System collection. My Master System collection is kind of tiny, so I was definitely okay beefing it up with that one. So these next two games unfortunately do not have the manuals, and I am on the lookout for the manuals. So just like the poster for the Soccer Wars, if anyone has the manuals to these, let me know. Definitely looking to complete my copies. This first one here is a really good shmup of sorts from Renovation, and it is a copy of Elemental Master. And like I said, unfortunately, no manual. And this looks to have a little bit of sun fading too. It must have been spined because the sun fading is only there. Not terrible, and I got a really, really good price at this. I got this for about a quarter of what it goes for online, so I definitely knew what it was worth prior, and I was okay picking it up as is so that I could at least display and play it. I really wouldn't need to read the manual in most cases anyway, so definitely excited to get that one in my collection. This next one, even more excited than that game. This is something that is not only rare, but actually really, really fun. And believe it or not, it's a game by Tengen. And anyone who knows, with the exception of Tetris, the games from Tengen on the NES were not very sought after or quality or collectible. There was a few decent ones. Don't hang me yet, but this one here is a very, very good game, and I was playing it earlier, and I will admit I am not good enough at it yet to even put my name in the hat of people that are good at this game, but it is super fun, and it is a copy of Grindstormer. And just a little tip for everybody, because a lot of people don't know this, aside from the fact that it has no manual, this game is notorious for having a faulty chip, and I'm told that a lot of copies of this do not work. And lucky for me, I tested this and my copy does work. Now, I do have a theory. My copy may actually be on the list of ones that has that faulty chip and doesn't work. But I put this in my Retron 5, and the Retron 5 basically dumps the ROM into the system. So this may actually not work on a standard Genesis. I do theorize that the non-working copies may work on the Retron just due to how it pulls the source off of it. It's not actually utilizing, it's kind of just taking the data. So I believe if it's the chip that allows processing of the game, kind of to help all the items on screen or whatever the chip would serve, that would kind of be a go-around. So anybody who doesn't have who has a non-working copy of this, I would definitely be curious if you pop it into a Retron if it actually plays. So I'm definitely going to try to test that theory myself in the future if I can find one that doesn't play in a normal Genesis, but thought that was pretty cool. I apologize, guys. I had to cut there quick. My older dog decided he wanted to see if his lungs were still functioning and decided to bark like a maniac, so that made for some interesting back noise, and my videos are already notoriously known to have a lot of crazy back sound effects, so I spared you all that. And just in closing, like I said, really, really cool game. I got this one for probably like 30% of what it goes for online. So missing the manual, definitely still I thought at that price that I was getting the better end of the deal, and super happy to add this awesome shmup to my collection. Anyways though, guys, this wraps up part 4. Part 5 has one of the coolest, and I'm not kidding, coolest items I've ever seen. Some of my friends have told me it is the coolest item that is in my collection. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I know it is definitely up there. And I am so beyond excited to show you guys. Stay tuned. Towards the end of this week, I will have that video up. As you can see, I've been wearing the same shirt for the last 4 videos. That's because I recorded all of these in one day, but I didn't really think you guys had the patience to watch like an hour of Grimsie42 videos in one day, so I figured I'd stretch it out a little bit for you guys over a couple weeks. That way you guys could take a break from your Grimsie42 watching, so that you guys didn't all go or whatever, you know, would have happened as a result of watching more than like a few minutes of me babbling. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for part 5 coming up the end of this week, and until next time, guys, take care.